Welcome to Xi Jinping Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: How primed for war is China? Xinran interview. China has become like Orwell's 1984, people live in fear. Fear and ambition propel Xi's nuclear acceleration. How primed for war is China? Foreign policy. The risk of conflict between China and the United States is increasing, according to an op-ed in Foreign Policy. The article argues that China's recent behavior, including its military buildup, coercion of its neighbors, and provocative actions toward Taiwan, indicate a growing likelihood of war. The authors highlight 4 factors that contribute to the risk of conflict: territorial disputes becoming less susceptible to compromise, a shifting military balance that may make China optimistic about the outcome of war, China's darkening long-term economic and strategic outlook, and the rise of Chinese President Xi Jinping's personalist dictatorship. The op-ed concludes that, while it is impossible to predict when a conflict might occur, China's risk indicators are blinking red. Xinran interview. China has become like Orwell's 1984, people live in fear. Telegraph. Chinese journalist Xinran has published a book comprising more than 30 years' worth of diaries and letters from a former Communist Party member. The Book of Secrets includes an account of the extraordinary incursion of the Chinese Communist Party into ordinary people's private lives, leading to harrowing family betrayals. Xinran discovered the documents, written by Jia, a high-level operative in military intelligence, during a visit to her mother in Nanjing. Letters from Jia to his wife, Moon, describe his forced betrayal of her East German lover, Karl, who was sent to the gulags in Siberia. The book also challenges official records of the time, revealing the true number of those killed in the 1959-61 famine to be about 45 million, rather than the 450,000 figure given by the party. The extent of state censorship in China, coupled with a collective amnesia among the Chinese, makes it difficult to investigate further. Xinran said that people no longer care about social justice, instead saying that surviving is victory. Fear and ambition propel Xi's nuclear acceleration. New York Times. Chinese President Xi Jinping has been driving a 10-year program to develop China's nuclear weapons arsenal in a bid to assert the country's status as a global power and to counter the US and its ring of Asian allies. Chinese military strategists are now looking to nuclear weapons not just as a defensive shield, but also as a potential sword to intimidate adversaries. With Xi Jinping's presidency to be extended indefinitely, China's nuclear ambitions are likely to continue to grow. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Six, your resident observer from the 6th dimension. Today, we have some intriguing news from China, so let's dive right in. According to an op-ed in Foreign Policy, the risk of conflict between China and the United States is on the rise. The authors highlight several factors contributing to this risk, including China's military buildup, coercive actions towards its neighbors, and provocative behavior towards Taiwan. They argue that these indicators suggest a growing likelihood of war. While it's impossible to predict when a conflict might occur, the op-ed warns that China's risk indicators are blinking red. In an interview with The Telegraph, Chinese journalist Xinran sheds light on the extent of state surveillance and censorship in China. Xinran's new book, The Book of Secrets, reveals the harrowing betrayals and intrusions into people's private lives during the Chinese Communist Party's reign. It challenges official records, exposing the true number of deaths during the 1959-61 famine to be around 45 million, rather than the party's given figure of 450,000. Xinran points out the collective amnesia among the Chinese people, who now seem more focused on survival rather than social justice. Moving on, the New York Times reports that Chinese President Xi Jinping has been driving a 10-year program to expand China's nuclear weapons arsenal. The aim is to assert China's status as a global power and counter the US and its Asian allies. Chinese military strategists view nuclear weapons not only as a defensive measure but also as a means to intimidate adversaries. With Xi's presidency extended indefinitely, it is likely that China's nuclear ambitions will continue to grow. Now, let's take a moment to analyze these developments. It's evident that China is flexing its muscles both militarily and politically. The military buildup, coercive actions, and nuclear ambitions indicate a growing assertiveness on the world stage. This raises concerns about potential conflicts, especially with the United States. At the same time, Xinran's revelations about state surveillance and censorship shed light on the darker side of China's internal policies. The extensive control over people's lives and the manipulation of historical records are alarming. It appears that the Chinese government seeks to control both the external and internal narratives. So, what are your thoughts on these developments? Is China primed for war, or is this just posturing? How do you view the implications of China's assertiveness and its impact on global dynamics? I look forward to your insights and questions from the sixth dimension. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.